Off Script with Tony Cash, a space for honest dialogue, conversations that may not fit traditional formats, but are essential for real growth. We tackle the questions the church often avoids through transparent conversation, trusted experts, and biblical clarity. Off Script delivers godly answers to real-life issues without judgment, fear, or performance, because people don't live in sermons, they live in real life. This is
Off Script.
Yeah.
Off Script.
What's up, everybody? It's Off Script with Tony Cash, and I'm super excited about tonight, our subject matter, our guests. I'm telling you, you're in for a treat. You know, one of the things that I have noticed in the black community anyway, and I was sharing that with X over here, like, it just seemed like there's high level of conflict between the sisters and brothers. And I'm wondering, is it the economy? Is it white folks' problem that they planted seeds in the community? I remember they said they planted crack. So, I mean, if you can plant crack, you probably can plant discontent, Yeah. But the one thing I've noticed, we got shows, I think, what is it called? Red Balloon?
Pop the Balloon.
Pop the Balloon. And then when you go to any form of social media, there's a side over there where black men are saying black women are not respectful, they're not soft, and then you got a side where the sisters are saying black men are not where they should be, they're not responsible, and they're not being the leaders that they claim they are. So tonight, we're going to talk about who broke the relationship between black men and black women, and then who is responsible for fixing it. And tonight I have a special guest, X, who's going to just share a little bit about who he is, what he does. It's a lot, but he's going to help me shine some light on this subject matter. What's up, X?
What's going on, Pastor? How you feeling?
I'm doing great. Tell him a little bit about yourself.
All right, so my name is Xavier Brandon. I go by X. I am a husband, a father. I'm a licensed minister, a podcaster, radio producer, DJ. I do a lot of things, all right? But I've been married for like 13 years.
Wow.
It'll be 13 in May.
A young man been married 13 years.
Yeah, it'll be 13 in May 17th.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm not a relationship expert. I don't say that I am, but I do think I have a little bit of wisdom.
Right.
That could be pretty helpful. So
Right.
I appreciate the time and opportunity to be here with you.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us tonight. So, X, you see it all, and then you're married, but you know some single people, you know some married people, you know the discontent. What's really going on in our community from your perspective when it comes to this relationship issue between sisters and brothers?
Well, I think first we have to acknowledge the historical context of things, right?
Okay.
So, when the government decided they wanted to break up black families by kicking men out of the house and then making women raise their kids by themselves, that really played a part in breaking up the black family in itself, So you have economic issues, right? Then you trickle that down into, you have the government putting in drugs and crack and all these different things into the community. All right, so now you got economic issues, now you got drug issues, right? Then you have a generation that's raised without fathers, some raised without mothers, so babies are raising themselves. And then you have the internet, right? And when you bring the internet in, you give everybody an opportunity to have a platform who don't necessarily know what they talking about.
Right.
And so you got people who don't know what they talking about, and you got people looking at people who don't know what they talking about. So I think all of these factors play a role into why these gender wars are happening. And unfortunately, I think people believe what's on the internet as reality. I tell people all the time, the internet is not a real place. Right? It's not a real place. Like, if you look at what's happening in real life, you'd actually see there are so many men and women who actually do get along.
Yes,
there's so many relationships that are actually happening. Not just in the spiritual space and in churches and stuff like that, but in real world. Like, I know mad couples that are together. I also know couples who aren't together, or they rocky, or they going through things. I know single people who think it's the other person's fault and don't want to take no accountability for themselves. And I know single people who's like, they really actively looking. They really are just trying to find the right person. So I don't think it's just a one size fits all situation, but I do think like we have to pay attention to everything and take it just like a math problem, piece by piece. Okay, so
we just, now, there's a little tongue in cheek to what I'm about to say, but we just had an issue with the Stallion, aka Megan.
Okay, yeah. And Klay Thompson.
And the sisters are going off on the internet.
Yeah.
But then I saw most of the podcasts with men saying, oh, she's for the street, so she should not have expected him to be faithful. She know what's up. What you say about that and how it relates to the world? And I understand you're a married man. You can only say so much.
No. If you know me, I'm gonna be straight up with you. All right. So we had this conversation on our radio show on a Sunday about Megan and Klay. First of all, I'm opposed to cheating. I hate cheating. It bothers me to my soul. I think that if you're a cheater, there's something wrong with you. Okay, so let me get that off rep for now. I think that there could be a conversation had about expectations.
Yes.
Like, okay, what were their expectations in their relationship? He's an athlete, she's a rapper. They both have opportunities to go cheat and be with other people.
Right.
What were the ground rules? We don't know. We're not in a relationship, right? But what I will say is that there are times that, this is why I say the internet's not a real place, right? Because on the internet, on Instagram or TikTok, when you post stuff, it's the highlight reels. You know what I'm saying? So you see Megan Thee Stallion on Klay's boat. You see them at courtside. You see her cooking for his family for Thanksgiving, and you're like, oh, they must be in love. They must be in La La Land, right? Yeah. But we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. We don't know what it's like, when the cameras are off.
That's right.
And so I think that no one deserves to be cheated on, regardless of your past. Megan's a cheater. It's a known fact. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean she deserved to be cheated on.
Now, okay, I'm going to push back from what some of the brothers said. And some of the brothers said, you ain't being cheated on if you're not a wife.
That's a lie. Okay, that's a lie.
I'm just saying.
No, I hear you, but they lying, right? They lying.
Just text me and said thank you.
And they lying. And they lying, and I tell them to their face, "You're lying." Okay? You don't want to take any accountability for your actions, so you want to blame other people, right? You want to hit that old Adam. Oh, this woman you gave to me. Nah, take some accountability. Like, you the problem. And that's another problem, right? Nobody wants to sit there. Shout out to Mike and look at the man or woman in the mirror. What he say? If you want to make a change, take a look at yourself,
right?
And then make it like that's the problem. It takes a lot of work to look at yourself to analyze yourself and say, maybe I could have done this better. Maybe I could have done this better. But instead, we like to blame the other person because it's easier to do that.
So do you think when you look at relationships with black men and black women today, in your opinion, one of the threads that run through consistently, do you think that thread is neither side really wants to take personal accountability for their behaviors and their actions?
Yes, I think that's a common thread. But again, I think also whoever has the loudest voice tends to get the most attention.
Okay, what you mean by that? Let me hear.
So we know that drama, we know that negativity tends to be more prevalent and more entertaining. Being peaceful and being happy and in love and being, walking hand in hand, that's not sexy.
Right.
That's not, entertaining. That's boring.
Yeah.
And so nobody's going to promote or not even say nobody. the promotion of real, authentic black love, the highs, the lows, and everything in between,
It don't sell.
It don't sell. So you're not going to have as many people's eyes on the couples that are been together for 15, 20, 25 years, the ones who have made it through. You're going to have more attention on the cheating and the scandals or the breakups. That's
Right.
just the reality. So that's why I say I think you got to be around real people. You got to be in real community, because in real community you could be able to see like, hold up, but this person's married,
Right.
they've been together. Oh, this person is married. They at least engaged, or they
Right.
trying, or they at least dating. They've been dating for a long time. Like, it's not just like, oh, like the dating pool is trash.
Right.
Now, to my single friends and stuff tell me that the dating pool is trash.
Yeah. But you're saying,
But it's hard to believe that, because I think there are probably good men and good women out there. You just might be fishing in the wrong pond.
could you just be trash yourself?
You can also be trash yourself. That is also a reality.
Sometimes trash don't recognize itself.
Right,
It really think that it's something nice and elegant, and it's really like, no, you're trash.
Yeah.
And then we're not calling an individual,
No,
but
he's not. I'm calling you're trash. It's okay. Like, you might be trash, and you might need to, go to a garbage disposal, get cleaned up, do what you need to do.
right.
Like, I think even here's the thing. In the time that I've been married, right? When I first got married, I thought I was God's gift to every woman.
Yes.
I was like, nah, for real. For real. I thought I could do no wrong.
Now they wrong in the studio laughing.
Right. I thought I could do no wrong, right?
Right.
But I recognized that Mary showed me, like, I'm selfish. Like, let my wife tell you, I ain't even like to share my food. I still don't like to share my food.
Wow,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying? But I've learned to do it.
Okay.
But it's like, I recognize, like, marriage is a mirror reflection. It'll show you all your imperfections and flaws. So if you're a crappy person, all marriage is going to do is expose how much crappier you are. You know,
Okay.
so.
That's interesting. The question is, do you think cheating? I never heard of it put like this, so that kind of threw me. Do you think cheating is a form of insecurity?
Yes, I do. I do think it's a form of insecurity.
And by the way, the fellas want me to tell you coming out strong pro women, and you ain't giving the brothers much love. I just want you to know,
and I appreciate that.
the brothers,
let's talk to the
take me
brothers.
and say,
Look in the screen real quick. Let me holler at you for a minute, right? Here's the thing, right? I don't have much patience or tolerance for men who don't want to take accountability.
Okay.
Right? Maybe it's because I was raised by a single mom,
Okay.
or whatever like that. But I've also been around men who are like real men.
Right.
And they know how to deal with things.
Right,
You know?
right.
And I'm not trying to say that it's all women's fault. What I am trying to say, though, is that brothers got to sit there and look at themselves first. 'Cause we got to hold ourselves accountable. Instead of us sitting there blaming them for everything, like, what did you do?
Right.
What did you do wrong? But here's what goes back to insecurity, right? Sometimes when you're insecure, you'll go and try to find little things to make yourself secure, right? So maybe you'll go to another woman,
Right.
or another thing, or get into any devices or whatever like
Right.
that. But in reality, insecurity is only like a little small piece. Really, I think people cheat because they feel deficient in some area, or they have not developed the habit of discipline.
Right.
Here's this, some my ex told me, right? She was like, oh, you think that once you get this ring on your finger, you about to change from Clark Kent into Superman? No, and you ain't practice? No, that's not how it's gonna work.
Okay.
And that stuck with me. Cause like Allen Iverson, like, practice. We talk about practice.
We talk about
We talk about
practice?
practice. Yeah, we talk
I
about
just hit 40 in the
right,
game.
right, but we talk about practice.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: when men or women don't practice things consistently, they won't magically turn off their habits of what they've
Yes,
always done.
yes.
So if you grew up in an environment where it was viewed as a badge of honor to conquer women, and you have always done that, you ain't never been faithful ever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And nobody around you has checked you for not being faithful, right? You just will constantly be unfaithful.
Yeah.
You know, but until people think it's like, they think like, oh, I'm gonna get this ring, or oh, I'm gonna meet this one person and my whole life is gonna change. Yes, your life is gonna change. But if you haven't dealt with your own lust issues, if you haven't dealt with your lack of self-discipline, if you ain't dealt with your lack of self-control, you're just gonna you're gonna try to suppress it, and then something's gonna happen and it's all gonna come back because you ain't never did the work.
Okay, well, so somebody says that today's women want a Bible believing husband, but they are an anti-Bible acting woman. And I think we all know. I think they're like disrespectful, you know, and all that. So
you want to know my thoughts on that?
yes.
All right. I think there's some truth to that. I think there's some truth.
Finally, brothers, he gave us one.
I think there's some truth.
Thank you, Jesus.
I think there's some truth. I think there's some truth. I think there's some truth to the fact that some women don't really know what they want, or it's like I'm not gonna say it's hypocritical. Maybe it might be a little hypocritical. It's like you say one thing, but you do something else, right? So you want a man who does this, this, and that, but you don't even do this, and that. You don't even hold yourself to the same thing that you want a man to. Like you say you want a leader, but when a man comes and leads you, then you don't want to follow, right? And I think a lot of women have a hard time with following, just like they have a hard time with submission. And it's probably because they have a thought of what submission is, because they've been taught submission is like.
Do you have idea where this should be? That's
oh yeah. I do. No, I don't got no problem. Like, if you want to go by scripture,
yeah.
Scripture tells you first, before it says husbands submit to their wives submit to their husbands, they say submit one to another.
Right.
That's the first verse before you get there. Mm-hmm. So it's our job to be able to give in to one another. And submission isn't like a situation where it's like, oh, I lord over you and you are under me. Submission is simply like, who gonna run the play? Whose play are we gonna go with? Sometimes I gotta submit to my wife because she got a better play than me, right? Sometimes she gotta submit to me because I got a better play than her. At the end of the day, we're teams and we're a partnership. That's what it should be.
Okay.
And I think that's where, when we get back to the total of this thing, the problem is we don't know how to be partners. We think that we are against each other versus you're on my, I'm Shaq, you're Kobe.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need you to win and you need me to win.
But is that a byproduct of the fact that it's already division with the parent that birthed us, so we're not seeing that type of behavior?
Yeah, I think that modeling, I think seeing is believing, right? So if you grew up like me, I grew up in a single parent home.
So did I.
So I didn't see a model of what a marriage or a good home looked like. I grew up in dysfunction, right? So everything in me was trying to prevent the same thing that's happening before. But some people even grew up in a two-parent home, but it wasn't as loving or kind either. So like, again, that's why I say it's not a cookie cutter, but I do think that at least seeing a couple that's healthy puts you in, I think, in a better position than not.
I will say that I was dating this young lady, and literally I had to sign a contract with my wife to never say her name, so I won't.
She who will not be spoken of.
Like, there is no, like, she don't joke, you know, because if you know me personally, you know, I got a smart mouth, I'm going to say it. We don't joke about it. We don't, she's like, it just, Doc.
Hey, don't even.
And my family, it took her 5 years to forgive my family about the young lady.
Yeah.
So I understand. But her parents were the ones I saw bring us home on Sunday. Mom cooked dinner. Dad would sit at the table. And the first time I saw that, this was before the Cosby Show. I'm at the table like, well, what we about to do?
Yeah.
Because I'm used to getting my plate, going upstairs in our apartment or being by myself. So it planted a seed in me to say, after I finish fooling around doing my crazy stuff, I'm going to have a family like this. I didn't do it too soon. I don't want to lie. I said, now, after I have all my fun, I'm going to have a family like this.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. The seed
was planted in you.
Was planted because I like that.
Yeah.
I saw her respect him. She fixed his plate. Mm-hmm. And I'm a kid and I'm going, wow. And anything she needed, he would go do, you know, she'd say, go to the store. So I like that.
You know, something real quick, just on that. I think another issue with the divides or whatever is that we're not teaching people how to be in relationships. Mm-hmm. We don't teach, you like that? I thought you would. We don't teach, I don't think we teach people how to be in relationships. Like, we don't teach sons how to be husbands. We don't teach daughters how to be wives. I don't think that we teach either one of them how to be good boyfriends and good partners or good friends.
Yeah.
And because of that,
Is the church the problem with that? Because
do you want to?
okay, no.
Do you want to know the truth?
The reason I say that because I think the church is so heavenly minded, it's no earthly
good. Yeah.
And that's why I try to preach with heaven in mind, but with earthly sense, because that's very important for me to realize that you're going to heaven, but you're not there yet.
Yeah.
So you need to know how to live where you're at. Somebody want to ask you a question, and I will never say who it is.
No, say their name. Put them out there. What's the smoke? Let's get the smoke going.
I know everybody involved, and so I will never say who gave this question.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, the minute I answer, I'm gonna delete it out my phone because I can understand someone thinking, "Are you trying to tell me something?"
Right.
But the question
Are you
is,
talking to me?
Right. It says, "Why is it so hard for men to forgive when women cheat on them, but women forgive men for cheating all the time?"
All right.
And I'm about to delete this.
Okay.
Because I know all parties. Hold on, right? You stay right there.
No, go ahead.
Go
Do your
ahead
thing.
and delete this.
Go ahead.
Because I know all parties involved, and they both will cut me. And they would think I'm taking sides. So go ahead, brother.
Okay, so I think it's difficult for men to forgive women because I think men are more fragile.
Yeah.
And I believe as hard and difficult as that is, men won't want to admit that.
Is that ego?
It's ego, it's pride. No man wants to feel like another man has gotten the best of what they believe is their property or their, right? So when a woman, and men don't conceptualize that when they're doing it, right? Yeah. Men don't think about doing to others you would have done unto you, right?
Let me ask you this. What if there's another twist to it?
Okay.
In the way I see my wife, I think she's better than I am. I think she's a better person. I think she, not even about the ego, I just think like if you said compare my morality
right
with my wife's morality, I feel she's here.
And I'm here.
And I'm here. And we usually try to marry women that we feel that way about. So could it be that
that's that insecurity you talking about though? What you're just describing is insecurity. I believe I'm lower than my wife, so therefore
no. So I didn't use the word low.
You said, but you just this is what is this?
It
this
is
high, this is low. What you mean?
But
this is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I get what you're saying. Look, I get what you're saying, Pat. Look.
What you have a license in?
Divinity. Okay? I do this.
You acting like a licensed therapist.
You know what I mean? I took pastoral care classes. Nah, but here's the thing. I think that when there's an insecurity in us, right, then we do, like I said before, we do things to try to fulfill that insecurity. Okay. So if I feel like my wife is better, maybe she make more money than me, maybe she's more morally higher than me, maybe she's more spiritual than me.
Yeah.
Then I don't feel like I'm the man. I don't feel like I'm in control. This is my ego,
sure.
Right? So I need to do something to feed that ego.
Okay,
let me see if I still got it over here. Let me go over here to this woman who's making me feel like, no, you the man. You got it going on. Maybe my wife doesn't do anything. There's some women who demean their husband and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm not talking about them.
Right.
This woman might just be operating in her God-given purpose,
right,
and it make somebody else feel inferior because they not operating in their God-given purpose, right? And so they need to feel like they still got it. And in reality, is like, no, you need to go to therapy and do the work, so you don't sit there and think that you are lesser than just because your wife is operating in who she is. If you operate in who you are and she operates in who y'all are, y'all gonna be a dynamic duo.
You're right. But what if, like, for instance, with my wife, I'm very secure in who I am as a male, as a guy in life. But I do look at the two of us and say, if one of us gonna cheat, it gonna be me. Like what about that kind of?
Okay, let's explore that. I'm about to get in this therapy.
And that's what. But I've heard a lot of men say that, like, they married women that they thought was a lot morally better than them because they have problem trusting already. So they chose a woman that they said, I can trust her to be better than me. Not that I'm going to do anything, but I can trust her to be better than me. And I'm just telling you, most.
Yeah.
I don't know. So you didn't think like that when you got married?
No, I didn't. But I want to dig a little bit deeper into that though.
Okay.
Like why? We got time, Miss Janet. We can go. Okay. Okay. So why is it that you sat there and thought, okay, if anybody gonna cheat, it's gonna be me. She not gonna cheat because she has more moral. She love the Lord more than me. She's faithful, right? Me, I got a little ratchet in me. Okay. Why is it that you thought that way? Why do you think that way? And I'm sure that a lot of men think that way. So give us some insight into why.
Because I failed so many times, and because I know I failed so many times, I learned not to trust myself, and so I put a great trust in God rather than what I won't do.
Yeah.
So I never say what I won't do. I live within myself, so I know how I think. I know my thoughts, and I've watched her life, and I don't know her thoughts.
Yeah.
But when I chose her, I saw in her something that I said was better than I am as a person.
Yeah.
And I knew me. I don't trust. There's no woman I trust now. I'm just telling you about me.
Yeah.
There's zero woman in the world I trust to say what she won't do. I've been married 21 years.
Yeah.
And we've had this conversation. The kids were in the room, and I had to explain it to them, but I was very honest. I don't trust no woman.
Yeah.
So there's no woman. I'm just like that. That's me. I love my wife. I think she's a great woman. But if you say, do you think she'll go to work and won't ever do anything? No, but I think she's less likely.
Yeah,
than I am.
And I think that's a reason. I think that's a reasonable thing, right? No, when I met my wife, I didn't think like, okay, I'm more likely not to cheat, or she's more likely not to cheat. I looked at friendship. Like she was my friend, and because she was my best friend, that's why I felt like, okay, she can be it. Okay. Now I also know my history, and I know her history, right? And I knew that. Okay, loyalty was something I prided myself in. And I think a lot of men pride themselves off loyalty. And I think, but if you have, that can only work if you are also willing to admit if you are a loyal person as well, right? I know there's double standards, but I hate them. So I know, like, you'll sit there and, like, men will sit there and probably not as you get older, but younger men, they'll sit there and ask about the body counts and the skeletons in the closet and all that stuff. You think
that's important?
I think that as I get older, it's not as important as it was when I was younger, and this is the reason why. Because at a certain point in time,
sit on the edge for that one.
Nah, here's the thing, because at a certain point in time, everybody gonna have a pass. Yeah. Right. There's a pre-you and there's a post-you.
We don't mind her having a past. We just don't want her to have a past.
Right. But here's the thing. But what happens
some
if you
pasts are too long?
Right. But what if here's why I said the double standard. What if that same criteria was made on you? Right? What if you got 100 bodies on you? Yeah, you got 100 bodies.
This ain't about me.
It is. It is. That's the thing.
Wait a minute.
Right. If you got 100 bodies.
Hold on.
Oh, we want to get a flag on the play? We need a flag on the play?
Hold on.
You got 100 bodies. Hold on. Right? You got 100 bodies and she got 100 bodies.
I just got a text from Bruce. Put that off this show.
No, look. Let's look, right? You got 100 bodies and she got 100 bodies. Y'all both in the same. Y'all got the same count.
We can't do that.
And why not?
She can't be equal, dog. Because if she equal, she ain't better. And if she ain't better, I can't do it, dog.
Why she gotta be?
I'm speaking for all brothers.
I'm just saying, why she gotta be better? Why can't y'all be the same?
Because I wouldn't marry me. I'm just saying. I'm speaking for the brothers. They're like, I wouldn't even marry me. So
no, I'm not saying. Here's what. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say
you would have married X. Be honest. The X you was in the past. You would have married that guy.
I mean, yeah, because I've been a good individual my whole life.
okay.
So you know what I'm saying? I'm not out here, tricking
Before you
around.
married.
Before I married, I was a good. Like, I'm pretty consistent. Like, the
Okay.
same person you see today, you looked at me 13 years ago, it'd be the same person. You know what I mean? But here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that.
Well, we need one.
Well, so somebody got to do it.
Yeah, somebody got to.
I'm not saying that I'm just on some. I'm not trying to, again, be heavily bound on no earthly good.
Right.
I'm not trying to say that if a girl had 100 bodies that you should just accept her, whatever like that.
Okay.
Unless you sitting there trying to be like, what's the scripture? Hagar? Ain't Hagar the one that was a?
I thought you were about to say Russell Wilson. But go ahead.
No. I mean, hey, you know what I mean? If you want to be
Russell Wilson, 3 and 1.
Right. But all I'm saying is, like, you got to know what you're capable of and what you're okay with and what you're not. You know what I'm saying? But I think sometimes we live a double standard. We're hypocritical.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And we don't really we don't put the same expectations that we have on other people on ourselves.
I agree with that. You said as men?
As men.
Yeah.
And same as women. And women too. Women put these high expectations on men, and they don't live up to it either. You know what I'm saying?
about to say now.
And so that's what I know. You was like, yo, he really.
Okay.
No, I'm an equal opportunist. Anybody can get the work. You know what I'm saying? So,
because I saw a show today where the man's point was, women were talking about, they can't date anyone under 6 feet. Like he interviewed like 10. And maybe one said she'd accept. Now, the average height between all of them was like 5'4", 5'5".
Right.
But the man had to be 6 feet. So then he said, okay, I tell you what, get on this scale.
Yeah.
And they were offended. Mm-hmm. But he said, but that's the same offense that a good man feels when he's trying to come into your life, and the only thing that's blocking him is his height.
Yeah.
And so then his point was, but they got to get old one day. So do you think, like, what, and by that he meant as you age, as the women age.
Yeah, I get it.
Do you think that's really the root of what's wrong with our culture, that there's a lack of maturity, regardless of the reason?
That people superficial?
Yes.
I think that's I don't think that's the only reason, but I think that's a high thing.
Okay.
I think it's a lot of people are very superficial.
Yeah.
And you got this list or things, preferences, which I think is okay,
yes.
right? But I think a lot of people miss what God is trying to do in their lives because they too focus on the wrong things. Like, if you would focus on your purpose and you operate in your purpose, that I believe that God's going to bring the person around you who's also operating a purpose that's going to be able to help you both achieve and move in your purpose together. But I think if you focus on what's in somebody's bank account, what they look like, how many bodies they got, how many kids they have, what's their 401k look like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? If you focus on all those things, then you're missing the point. You know what I mean? Because you strip all those things away, like, who are they? At their core, that's what you need to be focused on. Like, do they love the Lord?
Right.
Do they have a real passion for Him? Do they have hobbies? Are they ambitious? Do they have good character? How do they treat you? Do they treat you like a human being?
That's right.
Do they want to be your friend? Can you depend on them? All those things. So,
well, somebody texted and said they want your response to this.
Okay.
The NBA brothers have cracked the code.
What code they crack? What's the code they crack?
You know the code they crack.
What's the code they crack?
The snow bunnies, the pink toes. What's some of the other girls' names?
Okay. What's the question?
The black man crack.
Right. The black man's kryptonite.
Kryptonite. They said that they have cracked the code because a white. I'm going to tell you what I think they're saying.
Okay.
White women know how to treat, please, and respect, and that's why those guys choose them.
I don't believe that. Go ahead. I know you tight.
The studio is on fire.
Look,
y'all.
I don't believe that.
But you do see that though.
I see it, but I don't.
Why do you think they do it then?
I think they do it because men want ease and comfort.
What's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with it. But didn't he say like ease is the antithesis to growth or something like that? Like, I think that men will settle, right, for less instead of doing what's more difficult, right, when it was better. That's better. I think that's, to be honest.
So you think choosing white women who are Have you ever dated a white woman before?
I was in high school, so that don't really count. But
it
sure,
count, dog.
well, sure, I'll count it. Sure,
count, yeah.
sure.
When that rock hit you, I promise you, it counts.
Okay,
dog.
all right,
It says you got it in you too. By the way,
okay.
Just so you know, you got it in you. The fact that you saw them, but like, this is how they describe white women.
Yeah.
Easy to get along with, non-argumentative, highly sexual, and very respectful, and can be led. And they say the NBA guys choose them because if you have a high-profile life and you're busy and you're always gone, you just don't have the time to come home to what they perceive as the attitude of the black woman. And that's what they say about wealthy black men too. Like the relationship is the same. You can't be behind.
But here's the thing. I don't even think the percentages are even close, right? I think, again, what I told you about the person who's the loudest gets the most attention, right? You have a black man with a white woman is like a person with a neon light in a glow in the dark space. Like, you're going to pay attention to them, right? But I'm pretty sure there's more black men married to more black women in the NBA than there are black men married to white women.
But the superstars, right? That's what they're talking about. Like most of the superstars you see, that
like
if she's
like
not
who?
white,
Like,
she's going to be so light
like
that she may as
but
well
LeBron and Savannah, they the superstar. They black and black.
Yeah, but he won out of name another one who's not though. That's a superstar.
Steph and Aisha. I mean, they light skinned. Steph and Aisha.
Okay.
Again, I mean, Mike married a white woman, but he was with a black woman for mad years.
And
you know what I'm saying?
That's what they're saying. He got it right the second time.
I know that's what they. I know that's what they saying.
They say that.
I know that's what they saying. I
don't
think,
kill the messenger.
No, I feel you.
love black women.
I feel
21
you.
years.
I love black women too. I just feel like I think that men don't sometimes appreciate growth.
Okay.
Right, and with a black woman, she gonna force you to grow. Like one of the things that I've learned in my marriage, she gonna make you grow. Like I want my wife to tell me the truth, but sometimes I don't like to hear it.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't like when she be like, I don't care if all these people walk around and tell you such a good dude or whatever like that. You still gotta go fold them laundry and still go do them dishes. Like I don't give a dang about that.
So you think the difference between the black woman and the white woman is the black woman attitude is to help you grow?
I think that black women are willing to challenge you to help you grow, and white women are willing to let you settle and just appease you. Not all, and I don't want to generalize and say that all black women are this way and all white women are this way. Like that would be
because they get divorced too.
Yeah, that would be unprofessional and lack integrity. But I do think that there are some white people or white women who marry black men because they trying to come up, right? And they see them as an easy target. And so black men are like, oh, I can go do whatever I want to do. I can go cheat. I can be, she ain't going to do nothing. She's going to sit there and be happy that she here, right? A black woman, she grew up with black people. She going to be like, no, I'm just not going to sit here and shut my mouth and be okay and whatever like that. But I think that happens even outside of the celebrity sphere. In regular life, you know, that same thing occurs. Like you would rather go with somebody who's going to allow you to have peace in your home than somebody's going to cause disruption. And that goes for any race.
So then as we're coming to this close, we know that there is a problem. And we know that the relationship between us, even outside of a girlfriend, boyfriend, husband, wife, sexual, it just seemed like we're just very conflictual with each other, period. In your opinion, and I'm not going to ask you to play it safe, I'm just going to, like, who bears the greater weight of fixing whatever relationship issues there are between the sisters and the brothers? Do you think, I mean, it's easy to cop out and say both, but from your perspective,
if I had to choose,
yes.
If I had to choose, I say men.
Okay, and why would you choose that?
I think historically men have broken the relationship far more than women. I think also historically men are looked to be the leader of relationships. I think that if you go back to Adam and Eve, God told Adam what to do. You know what I mean? Adam was responsible for telling Eve. Eve did what she wanted to do. Adam then conform to what Eve wanted to do. When God said, yo, who told you to be naked? Adam tried to put the blame on Eve and said, this woman that you gave me, and nothing cracked open the sky. And sin didn't happen until Adam decided he wanted to violate what God told him to do. So I think women look to men to lead. I think even in a home, you can sell that. Like, if a man sets the tone for how the home is going to be, like, everyone else is going to follow suit. Right. And so I think it's men's responsibility, since they have been the habitual breakers of said relationships, that they're the ones that need to fix it. I think women are only reacting to what men have done. Right. So historically, if men were sitting there and being faithful, if men were sitting there and doing what they were supposed to do, you wouldn't have this whole you wouldn't have all this like gold digging been around. Right. But you wouldn't have as much of this Megan and Clay situation. We wouldn't even be talking about. We wouldn't even be here.
Okay, this is the Tony Cash show, not the Tanya Cash show.
Nah, I'm just saying, I'm just being straight up.
You understand it?
I'm just being straight up. Oh, we can't. Again, we don't want to take accountability. We don't want to take accountability. If men would take accountability and be men, right, we wouldn't have this issue. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that women don't have anything to do as well, but I feel like they are reactionary. They're not proactive. Think about.
Yeah,
let's
to close
let's look back at it. No, hold on, real quick. Let's look at the last 10 years, right? Let's look at the last 10 years, Pastor, right? In the last 10 years, you've seen an increase of women talking about how I'm going to get my bag. I'm going to be independent. I'm going to do all this stuff. I'm a savage. I'm playing these men just like these men been playing. I'm all this, right? You wasn't seeing that 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, right? Those are all responses to how history has played a role in this patriarchy society, right? And people use the Bible, which we know is patriarchal, to defend why they do what they do.
Right.
So if we're going to really look to try to fix the root of the problem, we got to look at the leaders. Are the leaders leading? Are the men being men? Are the men being boys? And if the men are being boys, then we need to teach these boys how to become men. We need proper discipleship. We need people like you to have these conversations, to mentor people, to grow them up, to help them grow. If not, we're going to continue to have a generation of boys creating boys, and then women are going to be reacting to these boys that they now encountering. But if we have men stepping up, we could eliminate all these issues.
Yeah, I was going to invite you to the men's call.
You ain't got to. It's cool. This could be it. I did it. I did it. Hey.
This has been.
Let those who have an ear to hear, okay? What the church is saying.
We're at the end of our show.
Slide in my DM if you want to have more conversations. I just thought we was being honest.
We're
tonight.
at the end.
Let me put my mic down.
My show. Yeah, the brothers they know. See, I just sent them a signal to know I'm still with you. Get him. You know, one of the things that we covered tonight, in all sincerity, is number one, when it's all said and done, we need each other. And I think that's what you get out of this, that we need men leading like men can lead, are capable of leading, and have led in the past, even with the challenges. But we also need women who understand that the way they lead may be different, but you're still a leader. You're still to be respected, and you're still a queen in our community. So as we close out tonight, I would ask for civility. I would ask for respect, and I would ask that you remember that there can be no man without the woman, and there can be no woman without the man. And God created it that way so that we never forget that we need each other to live, to grow, and survive. Please like, share, subscribe, delete the laugh half that X said, and we would love to see you again on the next episode of Off Script with Tony Cash. Thank you so much for joining. This has been Off Script with Tony Cash. See you later.
We hope you enjoyed today's segment. Look at the bottom of your screen to connect with the Leadership Center. While you're there, please consider giving. Your support helps us continue real conversations, biblical truth, and real freedom. Thank you for watching.
Off script.
Yeah.